Now let me ask you a question. What's the best way to prepare for Lent? The answer? Just give up. So it's that time of the year again, when we finally put away our Christmas decorations, turn off the TV, stop scrolling social media, stop drinking alcohol and eating meat. Basically, we look grumpy and slightly annoyed for the next 40 days. You guessed it, it's time for Lent. Lent is a time of prayer, penance, fasting, and almsgiving. It's a time where we focus on dying to ourselves and becoming more like Christ. But for the most of us, the main question for the season is probably this: what have you given up for Lent? Speaking of giving up things for Lent, one thing you shouldn't give up is liking our videos, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the notification bell, just so you don't have to give up our videos on Lent. Okay, so coming back to giving things up for Lent, is it something we have to do as Catholics, or is it more of something we should do? Well, giving up something for Lent is not mandatory. In fact, it's become more of a trend nowadays to not give up anything for Lent and instead add some spiritual discipline or good habit instead, like praying for 30 minutes every day or praying the rosary daily. So, if it's not something we have to do, why should we do it at all? Well, Lent is meant to be a season of conversion, a time when we change our lives and conform it more closely to the will of Christ. And how do we do that? By detaching ourselves from things of this world and becoming more attached to Christ. Thanks to original sin, our lives have become more complicated. We do things we shouldn't, we want things we usually don't need, and we are addicted to things that honestly distract us from Christ. In the language of the doctors of the church, our appetites are disordered. The consequences of original sin left us attached to the creation instead of the Creator. But that was never the plan for us. We are called to be free of these worldly attachments and have true freedom that only Christ can give us. So how can we reorder our appetites or desires? By giving up the things that have a hold on us. And that is why Lent is the perfect time to examine our lives and let go of things that keep us away from God. So what should we give up for Lent? Here are some things you could give up for Lent. 1. Social media and non-religious entertainment. If you find yourself addicted to your phone, whether that means spending hours scrolling through social media or binge watching series on Netflix, it's a good idea to go on a social media detox. 2. Talking. Sometimes our main problem is that we talk too much. We gossip, we comment, or we give our opinion on anything and everything, or just give in to sarcasm. St. Vincent Ferrer had said that it behooves us to strive vigorously to repress the tongue. So giving up talking unnecessarily or restricting our speech could be something we could do for Lent. 3. Food or drink. Are you one of those people who cannot function in the morning or even talk to anyone until you have your morning coffee? Then that's probably something you could give up. Find yourself mindlessly snacking or craving something sweet after every meal? Maybe give up sugar, or if that's too extreme, give up snacking between meals and give up eating dessert. Another common thing people give up during Lent is meat. Vegans just won't understand how hard this is for true meat eaters. But that's the point. It's meant to be a sacrifice. So if you're one of those who need meat at almost every meal, try looking at some alternate sources of protein for the next 40 days. Or at least give it up on Wednesdays and Fridays during Lent. Don't feel like giving up any of your favorite foods? Think of this warning from St. Paul. For many live as enemies of the cross of Christ. Their end is destruction, their God is the belly, and they glory in their shame with minds set on earthly things. Ouch. I don't think God would be happy with me replacing him with my belly, no matter how chiseled my abs might be, although they're non-existent. 4. Not eating till 3 p.m. Looking for a Lenten practice followed by a doctor of the church? In his Summa Theologia, St. Thomas Aquinas talks about fasting till 3 p.m. Why? He says that fasting is directed to the deletion and prevention of sin. In his time, people usually had their lunch at noon. Keeping that in mind, St. Thomas Aquinas said that extending the fast for another 3 hours till 3 p.m. would be a suitable sacrifice. This makes sense if you think about it. If we have breakfast at say 7 or 8 in the morning, and then by 12 we would have just started feeling hungry, and voila, it's time for lunch. Not very sacrificial, right? So extending it till 3 would really help us, in Aquinas' words, to feel some pain in a satisfaction for our sins. Another reason why he recommends this time is because of its association with Christ's passion and death. It says in the Gospel of John that at the 9th hour, which is our 3 p.m., Christ bowed his head and gave up his spirit. Now, whatever you choose to give up for Lent is ultimately up to you. The intention is not to do what everyone else is doing or to have some competition to see who's more like the Desert Fathers or to start a trend on Instagram. The idea is to die to ourselves, to our passions, to our will, and instead conform ourselves to become more like Christ, to let go of the world so we can hold on to Christ. So, what do you think about this? What are you giving up for Lent? How has giving up something for Lent helped you grow closer to Christ? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, let us know by liking and subscribing to our channel. It really helps us a lot. Until next time.